We'll move on now to our audience participation. So, guys, start typing. Give us some questions. Joe and me will read them off to the guys here. I mean, unless you got the thing up. So
I see the chat, but it's going pretty fast. So why don't you guys pick the questions?
Yeah. We want some good quality questions. We let's see here. Okay, here we go. From Keyblade Ninja. How did you guys get into gaming? I think we went to that already. Okay, first console, Master System, NES. Okay, your first games. He asked like 3 questions in one, but we'll go with that later one. What is your first games that you guys played?
Well, the first game that I played, I don't know. I mean, I'd always go into our local Kroger affiliate, which is called King Supers out here. Make fun of that name if you want, because it's pretty stupid. But anyway, they always had Pac-Man, Hubert, Kangaroo. But the first games I bought, I played some Atari at a friend's house, but the first games I actually ever owned for the Master System were Hang On and Safari Hunt came with it, and Space Harrier and Choplifter. And I loved Space Harrier in the arcades at the time. So those were the first 4 games technically, and I bought them all on the same day. And that was just an amazing day.
Yeah, and as we said in the arcade episode, that little pizza place called Showbiz, I would remember going there playing like Defender and Sinistar and games of that nature at Asteroids. And then when Super Mario came out with the Play 10 choice from Nintendo, that's, what really kind of drew me in. That actually thing was I forgot what world it is, but, getting your 100 lives by doing the constant jump on the turtle shell. That's when I figured, like, hey, there's actually something going on here. I don't know what it is, but, that's cool, and I really want to do that. So that's when I got my Nintendo and would try to at home on my own system. And then after that was Castlevania, and I remember Zelda, asking for Zelda for Christmas, and my sisters and brother, I think, all went in and bought me that game, and it was great. But
these questions are funny over here.
Okay, so moving on. How is the co-host episode of GameStack going to work? This is from G1 Caboose.
Dave's back from vacation, so we no longer need a co-host.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
if download ISO, which is linked to on the description of that episode, you can actually play it. You can't win it, but at the part where you goes to co-host, if you press a button, you'll get a green light or a red light. Well, you'll always get a red light, but if you press the right button in time, you get...
Now, okay, next question. Crow Kurek asks, how do you think you can take your show to the next level?
I don't know.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Well, watch next week's episode. It's going to be a little different.
It'll be different.
That's all I want to say.
And I think just, keep getting used to, delivering our presentations a lot better and smoother. And, I think that's for us. Obviously, on the video editing side, Joe is ready. So, I know he has room for more potential, but I have no idea what that could be. So,
yeah. Well.
No. All right, for our next question, Boardwalk, and this is actually a question I was thinking of adding on. How many games do you guys have in your collection, and who has the bigger collection?
Dave has a bigger collection. I think we counted a long time ago, and I had like total maybe 700 and some odd games at the time. I'm sure I have more than 800 now, but he has way more.
I took it on myself to try to get a complete Sega Genesis US release collection. I think there's roughly around 700 games released. I have a little over 600.
Wow. Sure. I can see. I guess that's the majority of it right there in the background, right?
A lot of them back here. And they're mostly in boxes. I have maybe 20 that don't have instructions, but other than that, they're complete.
Yeah. Actually, I was just talking about this with him the other day about how so much easier it is to get a Genesis game complete in the shell, just because of the clamshell alone, as opposed to like an NES game in a box or Super Nintendo in a box.
That's the reason why I chose to try to collect Genesis is because it did in the until the very end of the system when they were releasing everything in a paper box. It's way easier to collect an actual clamshell. But I would love to have a huge Nintendo collection, but it's a lot harder to find those games complete. I do have a lot of games from my just collecting the years when the system came out installed now, but it's not as big as the Genesis stuff. But to have
1,200.
Yeah, I'd say it's closer to 2,000 roughly games overall.
Oh man, what was our collection sitting at? I think I'm sitting at close to maybe 500 or plus games. What were you sitting at?
Right now, I'm at about 500 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like spread across. I think my biggest collection is actually plus imports and a few like unreleased games is my Dreamcast collection, which is sitting at about 165 games.
Yeah.
I have about maybe 30 imports.
How many games were released on the
Say it again?
How many games were released for the Dreamcast?
They actually did release a PDF on the website, Sega did, and they released 250 US titles.
Wow.
That includes third parties?
Yeah, includes third parties. I do have a copy of Propeller Arena and Half-Life, 2 canceled games for the Dreamcast.
Was that the one that was after 9/11 that they didn't release?
Yeah, the Propeller Arena was the airplane game that they canceled out of respect for 9/11 because you can crash into giant buildings.
Yeah.
The Half-Life mod, I mean, aside from a small glitch where the save file keeps growing and then restarts and starts off small again, the game runs perfectly fine, and I'm just still scratching my head as to why Sierra canceled that at the last second. I mean, they released a strategy guide a few weeks before it was canceled.
The waste.
More questions.
Okay.
Okay. Are you guys ever? Okay, this is from the Crazy Dude. You ever going to sell any various GameSack based T-shirts that you've won on that you wore on the show?
We probably wouldn't sell the ones that we've actually personally worn.
Are you sure? I mean, there are those kind of people out there.
You can't.
Oh, this smells just like Dave.
That if you sell the shirts online, we don't make any profit from it. We try to sell them cheap as possible, but they're online. I can't remember. Oh man, she was here so she could tell me. But you just search GameSack shirt online, you'd probably be able to find the store. There's only one. You can get the Nintendo style or the Sega style in any color you want.
Okay. Are there any plans for just an episode based on multiplayer games? And that is from CK Juicy.
It's a possibility. There are no plans currently. The biggest problem with that is that we'd have to record all the gameplay footage together.
And I don't probably find like an extra 2 people.
Yes, would be that are competent enough to
I'm sure we can fly out there and help you guys out. It's only what, about $400 both ways?
I don't know what he means by multiplayer. If he means like local 2 people playing like a Genesis or like online multiplayer.
Well, online, I assume he means offline. Because I mean, that would make more sense. Because online, I mean, that could just be any game released from like the Sega Net to all the way to today. Yeah, okay, he means local.
Yeah. It would be a possibility, I imagine, but that's the thing is just finding, more than 2 players, because like the arcade one we both did, the D&D Shadow of Mystara.
That Tecmo game.
Yeah, we both played those, but, it's just, us 2.
Yeah. But it's a possibility. I mean, we certainly don't rule it out. We'll put it in the queue and see if it cooks.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, this gentleman, the Lone Game Man, wants to know where you got the awesome Mario clock in the Retro Gaming on HDTV video connection episode.
Luigi, that local game store, Game Force, here up in Bolt. Every now and again, that guy, the owner will order a bunch of quirky his stuff, and I just happened to be in there when he had that Luigi clock. He had a Mario one and another one. I don't remember, but he always, things like that in his store. So if it piques my interest, I'll buy it. But I do like that clock. So.
All right. You got any off the wall questions?
I think
We don't have any more.
Might have asked a question I wanted to answer. Yes.
Oh, okay. What do you want to answer?
He asked, "Is Dwayne still alive?" Now, those you don't know. I can't remember what episode we started that nonsense in, but we got a letter from Dwayne who said he wanted to see us do a gaming episode of Portable Gaming, I think it was.
Yeah.
And because he had the bubonic plague.
I remember that.
Cutting out, but
Oh,
but anyways, he no longer is alive. Our episode wasn't good enough to keep him around. So
Yeah.
No. R.I.P. Dwayne.
Yes.
So,
Win in a fist fight. I'm pretty sure I would.
No. You guys need to duke it out in some pit fighter. That's how we'll find out who'll win.
yes, Pit Fighter. That may be on our next games we don't want to talk about.
Which version? The Genesis, Arcade, or Super Nintendo?
How about all three?
Actually, I heard the Genesis game is pretty good, aside for a little glitch that lets you win all the time.
So kind of like the old retro version of Big Rigs.
I love that game. The Jesus truck. You could just drive on water. It was so epic.
Wait, what game is that?
Big Rigs Over the Top Racing on the PC.
It's the most broken, incomplete game that just got released. I remember watching a review of this on Extended Play years ago, and you can drive through mountains.
Oh.
Your competitors don't move at all.
Firstly, like you beginning a race, you see your competitors there. The green light, the green light goes. Your opponents just stand there. They don't move.
Nice.
That you clip through bridges in all other types of environment. You can drive vertically up a mountain.
Wow.
You can literally there's no physics. You can go in reverse and you accelerate infinitely and then you can stop on a dime. Despite the fact you're a semi truck.
Yeah. Yes.
And again, I just call it's the Jesus truck because you can just drive on water. It's just
You can drive off the map.
Exactly.
To fix all these problems?
No.
I don't know. So
Anyway.
now, actually, okay, here we go. We got some more stuff for you guys. No, never mind. Okay, here we go. How do you guys get the music you feature in your videos? Like, do you extract the audio yourself? Do you guys find existing music, like remixes and stuff?
Yeah, it depends on, of course, the music that's playing. Like, if it's just music from one of the games we featured, I'll just, like, if it's from a cartridge game, I'll just go into the sound test, if there is one, and record it. Some games, sound test, fortunately, there's a process where you can, they're GIM files, GVN files, but I'll actually still play those through a real Sega Genesis or whatever, and use that. And other times, like if it's a CD game, I just take it, just drag and drop it right off the CD, and then just slide it to the episode or remixes and stuff like that. I don't use, unless I get permission, fan remixes. If like from Overclock Remix, which I've contributed to, if I don't use any of their mixes because I just think it would be kind of rude just to take it and put it in an episode and not give credit without their permission and stuff like that. But it's not that the music's not good enough.
So, okay, here we go. Bruno Mansilla asks, what kind of food do you recommend for retro gaming?
That's a great question.
Yes. Stuff that's not greasy, sticky. So like carrots and celery.
Can it be celery with peanut butter on it?
I think the next thing I want to buy is one of those construction hats with the The straws coming out of the
straws.
top. So you don't even have to get your hands off a controller or anything to take a drink of something. So
We got one for the fluid, then like another with a slide that slides Doritos down.
Doritos, you could put it all in a blender, so it's like kind of like a mush.
Right.
Oh, here's an epic question for you. Once again from CK Juicy, what inspired the fart at the beginning of each episode?
No, I don't know. That's just something I put in there, like in the first few episodes.
Yeah, it just seemed to fit for some reason.
Yeah, it's just like, sack is like a crudely drawn sack, and the intro was just like, and it was actually different fart sounds for each episode. And
so it should have been a splat and not a fart.
Well, I think the original was intentional. I didn't want people to think that we took ourselves too seriously, and because we don't. We're not like, an official review channel that it's just all in good fun. Mm-hmm. And then when Brian came in and did the theme, a lot of people still like the fart sound. Yeah. So I think the first couple of episodes, I don't know with the new music if it had the fart sound or not.
Yeah.
I guess people might have missed it and I put it back in. I don't know.
Yeah. Like the creaking door sound when you open a jewel case or something like that, and those are always fun.
Yes, in the early on when I have those crazy sound effects when I put it in a cartridge, people would be like, "That's stupid." Some people would like it, but some people would be like, "That's stupid." So there's like a couple of episodes where I didn't do that, and then they're like, "Where'd it go?" It's like, I guess I can't win. So I like it.
In there. Yeah, I like it too. That was me that actually said that, so I was just looking under an alias.
But the fart sound, did you record that personally yourself?
Just get the microphone. Okay. All right. From Caboose asking, are your significant others gamers? Do they game with you?
No. My wife, when we first got married, she would play Bust Move 2 with me on the PS1, and she actually got quite good at that, but nothing. She's content to have me down playing or whatever while she's, watching something on Netflix, giving our dog a bath or something, so.
Yeah, and my girlfriend, she's not really a gamer, but she tries. She'll see something that's fun. She'll be like, "Oh, let me try," and I'll let her try.
Yeah.
And every time I play like an overhead vertical shooter, she's like, "Oh, I played something like that way back then," and she's always interested in that one. And she played the original Duke Nukem, the one that was 2D, and stuff like that. So she has awesome memories of older games that she and her brother would play on the computer, but she doesn't necessarily remember what they were all called, so I can't find them all. But she's extraordinarily casual.
I got a wife that's a gamer. Of course, she started off as like a so-so gamer, playing Crash Bandicoot, Barbie Adventures, and then I got her into real games, and she's now got 300 hours plus logged in on Skyrim.
Nice.
I bought her the collector's edition for the Xbox.
That's a two-edged sword, because now you probably don't have any alone time.
Oh no, there's definitely plenty of alone time. It's just she's got to pull me off the games. So, actually, you know what? Speaking of Crash Bandicoot, I'm surprised they haven't released a new one in a while after that Crash the Titans game that they just released. I mean, it just seems like Universal doesn't want to care about that guy anymore, even though he used to be a mascot that rivaled Mario and Sonic. I wonder what's up with that.
Well, we kind of drove him to the ground.
Yeah. Although I did enjoy those last two games they made. They were actually much better quality than the ones they had on the Xbox and PlayStation, too.
Yeah.
Did it go back to the original development team, though, from...
Oh, those guys, nah, they're busy.
Naughty Dog. They're working on The Last of Us right now.
Yeah, that game looks amazing. I don't know if anybody here in the audience has seen The Last of Us E3 trailer. That was just amazing.
For what game?
Last of Us. It's a PS3 exclusive game. The survival horror post-apocalyptic type of game that looks really interesting.
you ever see or read the book The Road, the movie? It's almost very similar. I would imagine that story, the style is taken from that book or movie. You know, it's definitely something worth checking out. You know, if you the premise to The Road or to The Last of Us, you might like that one.
Yeah. I actually do kind of agree with Caboose right here. I mean, in like games for the last like 15 years or so, it's like it seems to be impossible to get like a quality like AI like teammate or partner in a game, and this one looks like it's going to finally fix that, and I really hope so. I mean, I'm sure you guys might consider this a future episode, like most pathetic AI partners or something like that in gaming.
Yeah, you have to sit there and babysit.
Exactly. Ashley from Resident Evil 4.
No,
Five, right? No, wait, Ashley was 4, dude.
Game to
I think it was 5.
Shouldn't have listened 5.
Yeah.
Okay. We're starting to argue here, sorry.
Interesting idea, though.
Yes. Okay, any more questions from the Peanut Gallery? I should probably show more respect to my fans. Okay, what do you guys think of doing an episode of old school remake games like Mega Man 9, 10, Bionic Commando, Rearmed, stuff like that?
No, to buy them.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned like Commando already in what episode was it?
Yeah, I just downloaded the demo for that.
Played the footage of that one, but you know, we'll mention them here and there. I know I have Mega Man 9. I didn't get 10. But that'd be interesting. You know, even like a game that's coming out pretty soon that I'm kind of interested in is the HD remake of Knights. And
yeah, for PSN and Xbox Live Arcade, I actually can't wait for that. My copy's sitting upstairs.
No, I mean, even being a Sega guy, Knights is, I don't know, for whatever reason, I mean, it's not like I hate the game or anything, but it's just like, I don't see it as great as everyone else does for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Even though I never really scored, you know,
I have the
best like a C or anything on the level, but
I have the PS2 remake of it, but
no, okay. And
PS3.
And I have the Wii version of Knights, the new game that they made. And that was decent. You know, it wasn't as good as the original, but I think the original one was great because I think it was coming into a time when there was a lot, you know, a good transition between 2D and 3D, and like fighting some of those bosses in there, you know, going back into the level and instead of on a side plane was something that really caught my eye on that. But you know, and I really like that aspect of it. But I did that, and, you know, some of the remakes, you know, look pretty good. Some of them just have no interest in at all. But you know, I don't know. I mean, that's a decent episode. You know, some of the remakes are new games that, you know, in the old 8-bit style. We'll put it on the docket.
I missed that last few sentences, or last word you said.
See if it grows.
Okay, another question from Keyblade Ninja. We're gonna just take a few more questions as we're gonna be wrapping up the show pretty soon. He asked, "What are your thoughts on the downfall of the Japanese gaming market?"
Yeah, we kind of touched on that a bit in the Western developed games episode. It's kind of weird because, you know, I think it's because games take so much longer to develop and they cost so much more to develop these days, and there's just not as much because, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think that Japanese excel, in my opinion, in like the arcade type stuff, and now it's basically all JRPG stuff. I don't know. I'm sure it's much more.
Actually, I believe in a couple episodes ago on a podcast, we actually were talking about like the rise and fall of the Western RPG and how it overcame the JRPG. Mainly because the JRPG just has gone stale. Like, it doesn't really evolve in any way. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that's true. I don't play a lot of RPGs anymore, so, but that's because of it. It's kind of staled in that sense. You know, I mean, it seems like Final Fantasy, they just can't get past, like, whatever, 13-2 now or whatever. It just seems like they can't make a new...
I'm not much of a Final Fantasy player, but I think what each Final Fantasy game, I guess, is not really related to any other Final Fantasy game, and so I think like Final Fantasy 13-2 is basically just a sequel to Final Fantasy 13, because they can't really go to Final Fantasy 14 because that would be different. At least that's my take on it.
Yeah, maybe. And like the Xenoblade that was released on Wii, I was very interested in that game until I heard that the main quest was 70 hours minimum, and that I don't have the kind of time to pump into that. Something like
it's that much. I think it's more maybe closer to 50. And the last time I played a game like that was 50 hours straight through was Skies of Arcadia, and that was just I enjoyed that, and I actually enjoy Xenoblade a lot.
Okay, if you have the time to pump into that, even 50 hours for me is quite a stretch.
It is.
But
definitely.
Stick to games that are maybe 20, 30 hours, like Uncharted series, God of War, not even RPGs per se, and probably The Last of Us, which is coming out, like we talked about already. Stuff that I can, play and get through in a shorter amount of time instead of, playing, 50-hour RPG, which would actually literally take me probably over 3 months to play through the whole thing. So,
Yeah, because I don't want to say what game we're talking about, but we do have an RPG episode coming up sometime in the future. I have no idea when.
Yeah.
And he's played through one game.
Yeah. Joe's part. I'm slowly getting through my RPGs, but it's just hard to find time to sit down for me for 2 hours. As with kids, they require a lot of time, and plus if you have a 40-hour week job with commute times and stuff like that, your time dwindles down. So
yeah, it's tough. It's
okay. I'm sorry. Go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Done.
Okay. We're gonna take 2 more questions. This is the first one. Have you guys considered releasing DVDs with your episodes on them?
That's kind of a touchy subject. Dave gets very angry with me because he wants us to release DVDs, and I'm just like, I'm too lazy. And started compressing stuff into the DVD format, like how many episodes I've got done, but they actually exist as .mtv and .ac3 files and stuff like that. And I'm just slowly going through and doing that. But some of the episodes are so long that we might only be able to put like 2 or 3 single disc. And I'm not really sure. I don't know of the logistics of that. And another thing that to be considered is that GameStack is formatted for YouTube, which means that I completely ignore the safe areas of the video screen. And with DVDs, people will not only get a lower resolution, also, depending on what TV they watch it on, unless they watch it on their computer monitor, they might, some of the borders of the screen might be cut off because they go into the overscan area. And so I've pretty much ignored that and making GameStack.
Yeah, and I think he's being way too hard. I don't think people, care that much about it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that care about quality, but, I don't think they'd really nitpick to that extent. But, I could be wrong. I don't
know. It's hard to say. I mean, I'm not saying that DVDs will never, ever come out. That would be a stupid thing to say. It's just, it's slow. We're working on it. We're actually working on it. But
and plus, how would actually be interested in, wanting to buy DVDs, so when it, if it's worthwhile to actually, press. Because we don't want to put out, DVDs that we just copy off of our computer. We actually try to put out a product that's, more professional, not just something like with our handwriting on it.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. There's a lot more to it.
And the other thing is, do people just want the episode? Because we're putting a lot of our blooper stuff online, or we will be. But I don't know if people just want the episode or they want more stuff. How much stuff can we fit on a DVD? We only have 4.3 gigabytes. It says 4.7, but it's really only 4.3, and there's just not a lot of room. And so I'm just kind of wondering the best way to handle this, because if we're going to do it, I don't want to do a crappy job at it. I want to do it right. So.
All right. Last question, and I'm going to add an extra question on top of that. Do you watch any gaming shows on YouTube? And my question is, are there anybody out there that, like, would you say you look up to or are a big influence on you, like Angry Video Game Nerd or people by Machinima, stuff like that?
I watch. The only one that I watch on a regular basis is this guy Spida 1A. He does a lot of Turbo Views, is the name of his show, and he'll talk about like pinball machines too. I think he's got a quality show, but lately he's really slowed down that I've seen. He doesn't, the last video he put out before his most recent one was at least 3 months ago, I think. So
He did one recently.
yeah, he just, like last week, he did one on Star Soldier for the Turbo. But before that it was, I want to say, at least a couple months. So he's not like a regular hitter. But other than that, I don't. I watched some video game nerd stuff, and at the beginning I thought they were very entertaining. But recently, it's I'll watch it, but it's I don't care for as much cussing and stuff that he puts into his shows. But it's but that's like that, and that's fine. But he I think he does a good job with the games that he reviews. And he's very thorough with them.
If it was this guy, every other word in GameSack would be a cuss word.
Straight in line,
Yeah.
This is a family for Pete's sake.
But and now I'll answer that question. There are shows I watch. Some I watch regularly, and some I don't. The first one that pops into my head is Metal Jesus Rocks. He releases an episode every Friday. I haven't watched the one he did today yet. He basically does video games and PC games and stuff like that. And he's just seems really like a really friendly guy. And
You haven't told me about him.
well, because I only see you 2 hours a week. And then also I usually try to watch the Happy Console Gamer. He's one of those other guys who seems like really friendly.
Yeah,
and of course I'll there's a few others I'm subscribed to. I don't remember them off the top of my hand, but I watch them when they show up in my subscriber box. And of course I watch Nerd from time to time. More of a, I don't know. I kind of feel like Dave does about it. It's like it used to be a little bit better, but it's not like horrible. I'm still entertained by it, and I think it's great what James Rolfe, however you pronounce his name, has achieved. So, but we're not trying to be the angry video game nerd. We're just GameSack. We're just a couple of guys being stupid and being really stilted on camera.
Actually, I'm going to sneak in one more question. Have you guys ever thought of the possibility of maybe streaming like you're playing of like classic games? Like you guys would record footage, you say, like maybe you thought about streaming your playthroughs, like adding colorful commentary and all that fun stuff. We can hear you guys cursing at these like really difficult games.
I've done one Let's Play episode.
Yeah.
I don't recall how popular it was or not, but
I think people like our regular style.
I would be down to doing some more of that type of stuff. It's kind of, sometimes I feel when we know we're recording ourselves for others to see, we hold back on our what we'll say. Because like that Let's Play episode, we were either trying to force funny stuff, and it just came out feeling like, man, that just wasn't funny at all. But
yeah, it's like when we're playing, it's like, okay, we don't have to be quiet, and it's just, it's something to say, gotta say something now.
I know,
it's just
dead air.
Yeah. For the best improvisers, we can do it sometimes, but
yeah. I think it's fun. We did the Let's Play, and I'd definitely try it again if we did something other than a shooter. So.
Because you suck.
All right. Before we all sign out, you guys want to give any shout outs to like friends and family or anybody? Plug your site.
Watching.
Grant's watching. I'll see you online in about an hour. So, other than that, thanks for all our subscribers and everybody who's watching us, thanks for watching and making it worthwhile for us to keep putting out the show, because we enjoy it. I hope you guys do too, and we're going to keep pumping it out as long as we have ideas. So.
And we do read all of your comments, at least I do. I mean,
I do, yes.
Well, you comment on an ancient episode that has had no views for like 3 years on. We're not that old yet, but still, I'll see it. I get emails whenever anyone comments.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Thank you.
So, as we wind down on the show, I want to thank you so much for being a part of our show today. Thank you to the audience that have that's jumped in, chimed in, gave us your questions. Joe, as always, thanks for being my partner in crime. So, I'm Fight Club Hubs.
It's GT.
And we want to thank you. Please stick around towards the very end. We're going to be streaming some Melissa Dragoon, so take care.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in.